on my way up north. Super excited, and should be a really fun weekend. How was the drive?
Good.
Yeah, dude, you know what? Get up with Jack, dude. I like that, Jack. What's up, dude? Yeah, sure.
Anyone sees this 5-point, please shoot it.
Oh!
I mean, that was Northern Michigan Giant.
That's awesome. But it was like 45 degrees here. Uh-oh.
Alright, first morning in Northern Michigan. I forgot my microphone and my zoom lens this morning, so sorry if the audio's not great, and hopefully a deer comes within about 10 yards of me because I got only a wide angle lens. But 35 degrees, cold front came through. I bumped a deer walking up here. It was really odd because I must have walked right past him. He was below me as I was walking up the hill. But where he was when I heard him run off is somewhere I walked right by like a minute before that. So, running on the leeward side of this ridge near a known bed and some clear cuts, and there was for sure a deer, a lone deer, up here as I was walking in. But nothing so far this morning. Should be a great weather weekend for movement. Today's the 14th. Yeah, October 14th. So, fingers crossed that one of us can get it done.
Well, just finished up our first sit up north for the weekend. We're up in Kalkaska County at Jack's family cabin. And this has become a tradition coming up here mid-October, and a tradition we're all falling in love with. And I'm sitting in a spot that I shot my buck up here a few years ago. So a little bit of a nostalgic sitting here this morning. And saw some does, a fawn. Jack saw a doe and a fawn. The other guys didn't see anything this morning, but nice and cold, it's quiet. We're gonna get down here soon. It's a beautiful time to be up in Northern Michigan. All the trees are turning, the beeches and aspens are all yellow, and maples are all red, and just a beautiful time up here, so it's gonna be a great weekend out here no matter what happens. We're gonna get down here, check some cameras that Jack has up, scout a few spots. My goal is to hang and hunt tonight somewhere, as long as I find some good sign. And I think Derek is planning the same, depending on what we find today. So we can hit the ground and scout and get into some action here.
Just hanging out. No reason right here.
Finally up and set. It's already 4:30 actually, which is way too late. I was the furthest drive, and I think those guys have been up for a good 45 minutes or so. All those guys are on food plots, and all of them are seeing, I think, it's windy, it's all get out. Big gusts coming from the south. Jug and Derek and Eric all had deer and some bucks going into them. They either kicked up or laid low and watched for a while, so food plots were on fire. It was raining a little bit, so they may have been out earlier today. With that rain coming in, I'm sitting over this scrape that Jack has a stand set up on, sitting in my saddle up in the lock on. It's, I don't know, low 40s, windy, wet. Those guys are seeing deer, they're up on their feet, ready for some action. He spotted me. He for sure spotted me. Dang it. He was at 60 yards. Oh, that was a good buck. What time is it? Still got time. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was a good buck.
And you know, it's right when the wind finally died down and went quiet, basically. Shortly after that, sitting there, and I hear like a deer to my right. And I'm looking over there. I'm like, it's a deer. I can't see it, but I hear something walking through there. You know, I'm watching it, and I just like a few steps, and like looking, don't see it, and then it just goes quiet. You know, don't see it. So I'm like, crap. I still have my like waterproof bag over my camera too, because it kept raining on and off. So I pulled that off and set that down and watching longer, and I'm actually kind of just almost standing up completely. I'm not really even like down in my saddle. I'm just like standing up completely on the stand pretty much, and kind of look to my left for a little bit because it's been 5-ish minutes before anything happened, and then look back to the right, and oh, there he is, dude, coming through that opening, like head down, and I see the rack and I can't tell. I mean, he's like 100 yards at this point, and like his head's down. I'm like, oh, that's a buck, that's a good buck. I can't see how big the buck is and to know if it's legal or not, you know, how many points. And I'm like, oh baby. So as he's coming in, I'm watching him. He gets to like 70 yards and it turns away from me, starts quartering away, because before he would have been coming like on a straight line 20-30 yards from me, you know. So he curls out behind this beech tree, and he gets behind that beech tree, and I'm like, oh, I can grab my bow. So I grab my bow, and it's on this side, and I bring it over top to go to like my weak side, but I'm still like standing up completely. Yeah. My bow, like my arrow hits this limb up above. It didn't like make a noise, but it just like snagged me up. So I'm like, oh. So I like mess with that. So it wasn't quite as like, and I'm moving slow too. I'm not quick. It was like a slow movement, and I'm like, cause I'm like watching him trying to move my bow over, and it hangs up. I'm like, what the heck? So I'm looking up, get that around, and get it back down, and I can't see him through this thick beech tree that's just, you know, full of leaves still. Like, and so I'm standing there, nothing, and I'm like, I don't know where he is. So like, I pull my binocs up. As soon as I get my binocs up on that beech tree, boom, I see a rack, and he's just looking right at me. He's already staring right at me. I'm just like, So I'm holding my bow, dude, and like I only see one rack, and he's tall. I'm just like, I started shaking immediately, you know, like I'm just shaking. He's just staring right at me. I'm just like, and he stood there and looked at me for a few minutes at least. And
Is your camera on him at this time at all, or no?
My camera's on, but like zoomed way out. It's not really like, you probably won't be able to see him unless you really zoom in. And so staring, and he's looking at me. I'm like, do what? The wind's great. The wind's coming, you know, right at me from him. So wind's not an issue at all. And like after a few minutes, like he puts his head down and slowly turns back the other way, the way he came from. I'm like, dang it. So at that point, like I kind of shift a little bit and get my camera and zoom my camera in, and I'm just watching. He's just standing back there, and a few more minutes goes by, maybe that was like another minute, and he walks out into the opening, but going back the way he came, you know, so he's quartering away hard, and he's 70 yards at this point, you know, walking away from me. I'm like, dang it. He kind of just walks off, and like he trots off a little bit, and then all of a sudden he like bounds off. He for sure saw me moving when I was doing the transition.
Yeah.
So I for sure messed up. Like I thought I was covered, but stupid. Like he could see way better than I could see him from where he was, and like I just was not careful enough on that movement. Cause you know when I get my binocs up on him, it's Beach Street, and then I just see his head in his pocket. You know, I'm just like, and I can only see his head in one hand. Like I can't see his body. I'm like, freaking hey.
I want to see
just
I want to see
yeah, I'll show it. Yeah. So at this point, he's right in there.
Come like this, or do you
Yeah,
go?
he came right down this right here. Yep. So he's
still wet.
he's right back in here, right behind that tree right there. I mean, literally this whole time he's just like standing back there. And this is where I zoom in on him. But he's still just hanging out right there. And he'll walk out and go out this way.
Oh! Go back. I want to see him start walking. Oh!
Did you grunt at him at all?
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, look at that, dude. Oh.
Oh, I missed
And
it.
then he
Go
goes.
back. Go back to it.
Oh, when he put his head down there.
Yeah, he's probably low 20.
Yeah.
Low 20s. Okay. See, I was underselling him.
Yeah, because that main beam's heavy.
Oh yeah, he is heavy.
That was the buck that I showed you the picture of.
That is him. That's him. Do you think he's 20? Look.
Bro.
Name of the game, man.